Spike gets tossed back and forth between the Dudleys and Balls, and then the Dudleys end up tossing Spike straight out of the ring because that's his spot.
Of course. This is the Tajiri I remember with his kicks. He even slapped on the tarantula.
I don't remember Little Guido being such a hard-hitting guy. I noticed they're not doing as many chin flicks.
Good.
Tracy Smothers and a goddamn chin flick. Psycho Sid gets pissed off at the judge for some reason and power bombs him twice.
They said something about something happened during the last pay-per-view. That's what they had said. But yeah, no more judge, I guess.
We better get more Psycho Sid.
Yeah, I was wondering if this was like it for him, and that's why he did it. But
then the Dudley Boys come out for some reason. Somehow, Bubba Ray talking directly to the camera sounds a lot better than Candido and Styles speaking through a public address system. Make that make sense. Well, moving on, we have our Wrestling Rewind. And this week is ECW. Hardcore Heaven 99. We're in Poughkeepsie, New York. Starts off with Joey Styles in the ring. Then Chris Candido and Sonny come out. And they get on the mic and you can't understand one goddamn word that they say. Because the audio is shit. In fact, the audio sucks throughout the entire pay-per-view. Then the Dudley Boys come out for some reason. Somehow, Bubba Ray talking directly to the camera sounds a lot better than Candido and Styles speaking through a public address system. Make that make sense. And I guess Candido is wrestling Taz, and the Dudleys are there to help him. So we open with Chris Candido versus Taz for the World Heavyweight title. Taz came out, drops the Dudleys. Then he throws Candido around for a bit and then chokes him out. And then the Dudleys hit Taz with a 3D. And Cyrus came out on commentary to talk to Joey Styles. The Dudleys talk shit, then issue an open challenge. They mentioned that they split up the Eliminators and Perry Saturn's now wearing a dress.
Oh.
So Balls Mahoney answers the challenge. So you get the Dudley Boys versus Balls Mahoney. Balls kicks the shit out of the Dudleys until the numbers get to him. And then Spike Dudley comes out with those little nut shots. And then Spike almost wins, but Sign Guy interferes. Spike gets tossed back and forth between the Dudleys and Balls. And then the Dudleys end up tossing Spike straight out of the ring. Because that's his spot.
Of course.
Spike gets Bubba bombed off the top rope through a table. And then he gets hit with a 3D. Then Balls starts running wild with a chair. Joel Gertner attacks Balls with the chair, but he's a pussy, so it didn't do anything. And then Gertner starts lighting matches and throwing them at Balls. I don't know what that's all about. But then Balls takes a swig of lighter fluid and makes a fireball in Gertner's general direction. And his face is all burnt up now. So the Dudleys end up pinning Balls after another 3D. It's kind of funny. At the end of the pay-per-view, they did highlights. And you can see like the fireball was nowhere near Gertner.
Yeah. I mean, we got to be safe here.
True. I mean, I'm not suggesting that he should actually light his face on fire. I just wouldn't have done that. If you can't do it and make it look real, then don't do it.
Maybe in the practice round it looked better, or they did it better.
Possibly, yeah. Then the pay-per-view actually starts. The wow. Extreme. So up next we have Super Crazy versus Taka Michinoku. It's a nice little back and forth match. Taka hit his Michinoku driver, but his leg was fucked up from earlier in the match. So Super Crazy won after back-to-back power bombs.
Good for him.
So you have Joey Styles hyping up Jerry Lynn and Rob Van Dam's rematch. Then they cut to the back with the Dudley Boys. Joel Gertner is squirming around on the ground, holding his face because, remember, it got burnt. And I guess Joel Gertner had time to put together a hit list. And then they find the first guy literally outside of the room they were in and beat the fuck out of him. I think it was Nova.
I don't remember.
Then we had Little Guido versus Tajiri. Lots of kicks and submissions. Tajiri ended up winning with a brain buster. He also slapped the shit out of Little Guido just minutes before he won the match.
Gotta love that Tajiri.
I like him here. It's kind of a joke.
Well, we don't need to talk about all that. This is the Tajiri I remember with his kicks. He even slapped on the tarantula.
He did, yeah. I don't remember Little Guido being Such a hard-hitting guy. I always thought of him as a joke. I noticed they're not doing as many chin flicks.
Good.
Tracy Smothers and his goddamn chin flick Tourette's. So the Dudley Boys are backstage again. They still have their hit list of people to beat the shit out of, and they find some dude and do just that. And that leads us to Lance Storm versus Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer's with Francine now. I may have misunderstood, but she's trying to look like Beulah McGillicuddy.
I guess. Actually had it the other way around, but you're probably right.
They didn't say anything was different about this match, but they had like weapons all over the place. So Storm gets put through a table that was set up ringside, and then Storm takes off his belt and starts stabbing Dreamer in the forehead with the buckle, causing him to bleed. And Dreamer does a stunner using a chair, which looked really brutal. A ladder gets involved. Lance has it around his neck, and Dreamer hits it with a chair, and the ref gets bumped. A Storm falls back. Another table gets set up, and Dreamer puts Storm through it with a Death Valley driver off the top rope. And then Dreamer goes for the cover. For some reason, Cyrus comes out, pulls Dreamer off Storm. Francine starts kicking Cyrus's ass effortlessly. Don Marie gets involved. There's a cat fight. And then Dreamer hits Don Marie with a pile driver. So Storm attacks Dreamer with a chair and then puts it over Dreamer's head. And he ends up winning the match with a spin kick off the top rope. Dreamer crawls to the back at the end of the match. That's selling.
Yeah. Good for Mr. Storm. Always like him.
I do too. He gets the boring label, and that's true, but he is a damn good wrestler.
Yeah.
Dudley Boys beat the shit out of Jack Victory. They did him real dirty too because he thought they were friends. And then they got to Taz, who promises to make Devon and Bubba Ray tap tonight here in Poughkeepsie. It was kind of funny because Devon revealed that Jack Victory was next on the list. And Bubba was like, oh my God, but he's our friend. We can't do that. And they said something about like $100 or $300 or I don't know. Somehow money got involved. And Bubba was like, oh, he's a dead man. So yeah, they had to beat up Jack Victory. So we had Jerry Lynn versus Rob Van Dam for the World Television title. This was no disqualifications, no time limit, but lots of near falls. They told a story of both of them being evenly matched. RVD gets put through a table that was set up ringside with a sunset flip powerbomb off the apron. Alfonso got involved often with his chair tossing. Eventually, Lynn throws a chair in his face. They go for a big belly-to-belly suplex spot off the top rope, but Lynn slipped, busted his ass. Van Dam ends up winning after a Van Daminator and a second frog splash. And I will say Jerry Lynn really made me root for him. I was wanting him to win. And then Rob Van Dam showed genuine respect to Lynn after, which is rare. He usually does that like backhanded compliment shit.
Yeah. I thought the first match was better between them, but this was also a good match. I just thought the first one was better.
For some reason, I like this one better. Pretty much the same, though.
Yeah. Just two guys that have that chemistry or whatever.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people have high praise for Jerry Lynn. I unfortunately don't have much experience with his catalog.
I don't either.
I know his JL and WCW.
I mean, I saw him a couple times in ECW, like the few pay-per-views I got to watch back in the day, but I didn't know too much about him.
Dudley Boys are backstage again. They're pissed that Taz not only challenged one of them, but both of them. So it sounds like they accepted the challenge that Taz accepted. And then they beat the fuck out of Taz's cousin, Chris Chetty. And in that process, Devon ends up breaking his hand on Chetty's face.
Which pisses off Bubba even more.
And he beats the fuck out of Chetty even more.
Yeah.
So we have Just Incredible. Credible was supposed to wrestle Shane Douglas, but of course Douglas is hurt, like always. And he won't be at the pay-per-view. So Credible wants his time anyway. And he comes out with Jazz and Just Jason. And then he just talks about how badass he is and how no one can beat him. Then Judge Jeff Jones interrupts, brings out Psycho Sid. Psycho Sid beats the fuck out of everyone until powder gets thrown into his eyes. And then Lance Storm comes out to help Credible. attempt to put Sid through a table. And Sabu came out, tries to put Sid and Credible through the table. And then Storm pulls Credible away at the last second. So Sabu puts Sid through the table. And then Sabu's banned by the athletic commission, apparently. So he starts fucking up security until they take him away. And Psycho Sid gets pissed off at the judge for some reason and power bombs him twice.
They said something about something happened during the last pay-per-view between them.
I don't remember that.
I remember, but that's what they had said.
Okay.
But yeah, no more judge, I guess.
We better get more Psycho Sid.
Yeah, I was wondering if this was like it for him, and that's why he did it, but we'll see.
It would be cool to see Psycho Sid just like stand in the ring and take out everybody from the roster. Like they just all come out like cockroaches and he takes them all out.
Yeah.
So Bubba Ray Dudley comes out. He tells us that Devon broke his hand punching Chris Chetty in the face. So now it's Bubba Ray Dudley versus Taz for the ECW World Heavyweight title. So you get Bubba Ray Dudley versus Taz. Taz hits the ring and says now it's Falls Count Anywhere. Because it's FTR. What the fuck is this? FTW rules.
Yeah, FTW.
Of course, that's just a vehicle for them to do what Taz loves best. Crawl through the crowd. Taz got busted open. Then they make their way back to the ring. Bubba kicks the shit out of Taz until Taz catches him with a Tazplex off the top rope. A referee gets inexplicably tossed through a table that was set up through a corner. And then another referee was there with the quickness. Like he was waiting for the ref to get taken out. Devon gets involved. They try to 3D Taz, but Devon's broken hand fucks everything up. And then Taz ends up winning with a Tazplex.
I didn't think Bubba was going to win, so
I didn't either.
there is that.
This was a pretty ho-hum pay-per-view. The audio issues like really messed things up. I like the story with the Dudleys beating the shit out of everybody. But as far as like, I don't know, the matches, just RVD and Jerry Lynn was good though.
Yeah, it wasn't their best pay-per-view, but it wasn't bad. It was just...
It was there.
Yeah. It was kind of, almost like a repeat from the previous pay-per-view.
Just about, yeah. But that is our Wrestling Rewind.
Well, next week we have Night of Champions. So we'll be off of the retro for that. And then after that, we have WCW.
Uncensored 2000. This was the 6th and final uncensored pay-per-view produced by World Championship Wrestling. Took place from the American Airlines Arena in Miami, Florida. 11 matches were contested at the event. The double main event saw Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair in a Yappa Pie Indian strap match.
Oh boy. Yeah. It should be interesting.
Yes. Psycho Sid faces Jeff Jarrett, tries to retain his World Heavyweight Championship. We also had Sting versus Lex Luger in a lumberjack match. So finally they get their hands on each other. Goldust faces Terry Funk in a bull rope match. Terry just doesn't have luck with friends, does he?
He doesn't. But wasn't he beating up Goldust last time?
No, Goldust was in his corner.
Oh.
Remember he sat there while Terry Funk did his promo? He's like, I got Goldust with me. I'm going to beat you, Flair.
Okay, never mind. You see, they're running together. It was ECW I was thinking about when he was talking shit about Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah. Looking at the matches, we had Vampiro versus Fit Finlay. Falls Count Anywhere match. Billy Kidman and Booker wrestled Harlem Heat 2000, which is Big T and Stevie Ray, with Cash and Jay Biggs.
That should be a train wreck.
Oh, yeah.
That was the guy who was with Master P's group, wasn't it, too?
One of them was, yeah.
And Ahmed Johnson, yeah. Who's not in Ahmed Johnson shape anymore.
No, he is not. Not even close. I was listening to an interview with Godfather.
Uh-huh.
He was talking about, like, have you seen Ahmed? He's got to be 400 pounds. Saw him last week. I thought it was Abdullah the Butcher. I was like, is that Abdullah the Butcher? Like, no, that's Ahmed. What? No. Yeah, it was fucking funny. Abdullah the Butcher.
I mean, I can see how you get there.
I don't know, I think Abdullah is a little bit lighter skinned, isn't he?
No, he's pretty dark skinned.
He ain't as dark as Ahmed, though. Ahmed's like midnight.
No, but when you see black, you just see black. But yeah, Ahmed is like nighttime black.
But that is a wrestling rewind.
Good stuff.